Okay, on to some other moves now, and we'll talk now about moves that have a decision really between two options, between what's called splitting and slotting. Now I'll start just with the 2-1. Now, some of you may remember, if you've seen my videos on the book recommendations here, that I did get a little annoyed with one of the books telling the players how to play a 2-1-2 passively, and so I shall just go into that a little bit now. There's really two choices with how to play a 2-1 properly. You can either play the safe 2-1, and the safe 2-1 here is to bring one checker down here with the 2 here, and to split the back checkers with the 1. This is the split move with the 2-1. Now, the other move you can make with the 2-1 is to still bring this checker down with the 2, but this is called the slot move, where you slot the 5 point with one checker here. And that's the more aggressive move, the less safe but more aggressive way of playing the 2-1. Now, with the original 2-1 shown there, with the split, this of course is safe. You're not really exposing your checkers here to being hit, but at the same time you're not really, it's not a bold enough move. You're getting a builder down here, of course, but you're not unstacking a point here, you're not starting to make a point here. You're splitting your checkers at the back, which you'll want to do at some point, and splitting with the 1 is the optimum way to split back checkers. It gives you more numbers to make either advanced anchors, these are points further into your opponent's home board, in case you have to play a back game or to get them out on subsequent turns, or to make the bar point, which is a useful point to hold your opponent's bar point. But I much prefer, and I think if you're playing against possibly a stronger player, this is probably the safer move for newer players to play, I will concede that, but I think the slotting move offers so many more advantages when you play this down here. You want to make this 5 point, as I've seen in the 3-1 opening, as soon as possible, and this gets you started, and it makes you a strong favourite to make it, because on your next turn, assuming black doesn't hit here, he'll hit here 15 numbers out of the 36, he will hit this checker, so odds are in your favour that he won't hit it. It's more likely that he won't than he will. And when that happens, that he doesn't hit it, you have builders here and here and here to make this. All these numbers, you make you an overwhelming favourite to make this point on the next turn and put you in a strong position. And although you're not splitting the back checkers at this point, because there is no urgency in splitting them, there's no development of course in the opponent's home board on his side, that it's not a priority to do that immediately. You can wait a turn or two to start getting these checkers moving, so that's good. Now of course 15 rolls out of the 36 black will hit this, but it's not as much of a disaster as people will think it is. I mean, yes, you will be put behind in the race because your checker's going on the bar all the way back here, but it's not going to have any trouble re-entering because black doesn't have any home board at this point, and it's not too much of a big deal to either catch up in the race, get a hit somewhere else. Even if you have to go into a back game at some point, it's not the end of the world here. This, I would say, is the opening you want to choose as soon as possible. I think most people would advise newer players to play the split, but I'm going to say, I would say play the slot position as soon as possible and get used to playing it. It does lead to a more complex game, more hitting, more exchanges, more contact, but get it out of the way quickly and you will end up being a stronger player for it, in my opinion. So that's the 2-1. Okay, other slotting, splitting decision rolls, like the 4-1 is another one that you can decide between splitting and slotting. Conventional play here, again the sort of defensive play, is to bring the 4 down here and the 1 with the split here. This is generally the correct move. Again, if you want a less complex game and you're playing against an opponent you perceive to be stronger, this is probably the safer move. If you're ahead in a match, best to play the safer move probably. But again, a nice strong play again is to slot this one with the 4 down here and the 1 here. This is a lot more vulnerable than the 2-1 slot. Black now has 19 numbers to hit either this one or that one there. So you're much more likely to get hit, but it's still only you know, a small favourite to be hit here. And if you're not, again, you have a really strong position pending here. You have builders and ways to make primes and inner board points. So it's a good aggressive play, particularly if you're trailing in a match, or if you like to play an aggressive complex style. Then I would say this the slot is the way to go. But I would advise probably safety with the split in most cases for most newer players. Alright, the other one we've got here is the 5-1 opening. Now the 5-1 is a little different in the decision between slotting and splitting, because you're not actually adding a builder here. Fives, you play a 5 here to the to there, and then you tend to split with the 1 here. You can slot with the 1 here. The thing is, because you haven't really added any builders here, you've only put an extra checker on here, your chances of making it, you're still favourite just about to make it, because you've got all 1s, all 3s to make it on the next turn. But the risk is greater. You haven't got so many chances to make this point. Also, if you are hit and black starts running out here, you haven't got any backup in the outfield to hit back when you re-enter there, any extra backup other than your midpoint to hit back in the outfield. So I would generally say with the 5-1, it's nice to vary it from time to time. Sometimes the move will work, but generally speaking, what am I doing? Generally speaking, the 5-1 should be played with the split at the back and 5 down to there. The other thing with the 5-1 is another move that you don't see very often, but I think it's quite a useful move to put into the mix now and again. Is just to run out with the 5-1, with the 1 here and the 5, running out to there, to black's bar point. It's not a move many players will play a lot, but it's an interesting move to throw into the mix from time to time. It gives you a chance to make that bar point on the next turn, and indeed to escape checkers if not hit. And if it is hit, you are left with an exchange here that often takes place around this bar point, an exchange that will probably favour you, because if you get hit, you're only going back this far, and then when black gets hit, he's going to go back all this far. So in race terms, it leads to an interesting exchange. The one downside of it is you are only doing one thing here. Most backgammon players, what you want to do is try and do as many good things in one move as you can. So if we just look briefly back at the 2-1 opening there that we looked at before, between the slot and the split, players might say, well, why can't I play a 2-1 just by bringing 1 down here? It's safe, it adds a builder, it's not putting anything at risk. Well, the reason this is the wrong play with the 2-1 is it's not really doing enough for your position. It's only doing one thing. It's advancing a checker a little bit, putting a builder in. Whereas the other plays with the 2-1, bringing the 2 down and slotting there, does more things. It's advancing checkers, and it's helping to make your points in board, and it's helping to make a prime. Or with the split at the back here and the 2 down, you're doing more than one thing. Yes, you're putting the builder in place here, but you're also getting the back checkers moving, diversifying the numbers that can achieve, making anchors and points. So you're doing more than one thing. So we'll try and do a move that either does one very good thing or several pretty good things in one move, rather than just one. Don't just play checkers in because they're safe. Okay.